Hey everyone, it's Steve. Welcome to Drive Time. So you want to know how to change the tire on a 2020 Tahoe. You may be able to use these same set of instructions for a similar vehicle. So for instance, maybe a GMC Yukon, maybe a Suburban, maybe even plus or minus 1 or 2 years. If you're just tuning into this video because you're simply trying to figure out how to get that spare tire out, which can be confusing, I will leave you the timestamp in the video on the next slide so you can just fast forward straight to that. Anyway, assuming you want to know how to change the tire, let's get started. Number one, if you are on the side of the road, we need to make sure we are in a safe location. That oncoming traffic is going to be something you have to pay attention to, not only when you're first getting started, but also while you're changing the tire. If you have somebody with you who can act as a spotter, that would be nice. So please think about the traffic, think about being in a safe location. Now you probably already thought about looking at the manual. Well, you're not alone if you did that and you think it's confusing. First thing I want you to know is that if you're going to change the tire and you're on the side of the road, the flat tire needs to be on a solid surface. Now this can be tricky when you have small shoulders. So in this picture, you can see how the passenger side of the vehicle is in the grass and the driver's side of the vehicle is on a solid surface. So this is great if it's on the driver's side, but it also poses a little bit of a risk in that we've still got that oncoming traffic to worry about. Whatever you need to do, we need to get that flat tire onto a solid surface, unless you happen to be in a parking lot or your driveway, in which case you're all set. If you can find or have some pieces of wood, then you probably could get away with changing the tire in the grass. Ideally, solid surface is preferred. First thing you want to do is go around back to the tailgate and open that up. On the driver's side of the vehicle, you will find a panel that looks like a vented panel in this picture. You need to stick your finger in that notch on the back and pull real hard, and what will happen is it will open up and you'll see a fuse compartment and also a bunch of equipment in there. So that equipment, when it's all spread out like this, is going to be some wheel chocks, your tire irons, and what's called a bottle jack. That's that black rocket looking thing right there with the yellow flower on the front of it. All right, so at the bottom of the photo is 2 wheel chocks. We're going to use those for our healthy tire before we start doing any raising of the vehicle. And then behind that, in that vinyl bag, is got our tire iron, which is the thing we use to loosen the lug nuts. There's also some rods in there that are used, extension rods that are used to make the bottle jack go up and down. Also, we'll need those for getting our spare tire out. All right, before we get started, let's take those 2 wheel chocks, those 2 iron triangle things right there in the bottom of the photo. Let's go to the tire that is opposite, diagonally opposite of the tire we're going to change. So if the tire you want to change is the driver's side rear tire, then you want to put a chalk in the front and the back of the passenger side front tire, okay? So directly, diagonally opposite on the healthy tire is where you want to put those wheel chocks. What you're doing is you're stabilizing the vehicle so that when you begin to raise it up, it won't start rolling away on you. Now, having said that, you should also apply the parking brake. That would be a good idea to apply the parking brake. And then let's get started by getting our spare tire out. So this is the part that's kind of complex and the reason I made this video in the first place. On the rear of your vehicle, on the rear bumper, you will see this little square plastic cover thing. And what we need to do is get that off of there. We do that by using some kind of a pry tool. Okay, so if you've got like a screwdriver, you might even be able to use the key. Try to be as gentle as you can so as not to scratch up the finish. I personally took a screwdriver here and put tape around it so I wouldn't scratch up the paint. Anyway, once you finally get that off of there, what it exposes is a little keyhole, just like an old-fashioned door lock keyhole. And as you guessed, you're going to use the key of your vehicle to put it in there. So see that how you've got your little key fob right there? I don't know if you knew this, but there's a little tiny square there in the corner. So if you look at that picture, you can see this little tiny square in the top of that key fob. Well, when you take that little key fob and you push in on that square, what will happen is it will release the key on the inside. I don't know if you knew that was there, but it is. Okay, so we need to get that out because that's going to go into that hole right there. So we're going to put that key into that keyhole right there. All right, when we turn it, what will happen is it will unlock this whole entire cylinder, which we pull out. So put the key in the keyhole, turn it, and then that whole cylinder will come out, exposing like an open shaft, and we're going to open hole. We're going to put something in there in just a minute. Go back to the bag that's got all the tire irons in it. And then what we want is the one rod that has these little bitty, like kind of, I don't know, like scratches on the, or ribs on them. Let me show you here. That picture kind of tries to show you what they are. They're like little ribs. The reason why you want that one that ends with the ribs on it is because that hole that's at the end of that rod is what is going to go into the hole we just uncovered. All right. So, and also take another one of the rods and connect them together to make it extra long. And then that whole thing is going to go into that hole that we just uncovered. So when we took that key and we turned that cylinder and we removed it off the back of the vehicle, it exposed an open like shaft, like a tunnel. We're going to take that one rod that had the ribs at the end, and we're going to be sending that into that empty shaft with the open end first, with the ribbed end first. And we'll also need to have an extension rod put on there so it's long enough. And then when it's all the way in, then you're going to take, and it's going to go in kind of a diagonal angle. Then we're going to take and put the tire iron on the back of it. You'll see the tire iron's got like a little open hole, like a square shaped hole in it. And you're going to use that to turn. This is how we get the spare tire down. All right, this is the part that's kind of confusing. So now what you're going to do is you're going to start cranking in a counterclockwise direction, which will lower the spare tire. So the spare tire is on like a steel cable, and they crank that tire iron and rod assembly. This will begin to come down from the bottom of the vehicle. Now, once it's come down all the way to where it's touching the bottom, we need to get the spare tire off of the thing that's holding it to the cable. And it probably helps if you take a tire iron and stick under there to kind of help prop it up. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is going to be something where you're pretty much going to have to lay on your back to do this. So if you're dressed nicely, I'm sorry, you're going to get dirty. So what you want to do is see that little kind of iron looking T-shaped thing. We want to take and push that up through the empty hole, or the center hole of the spare tire. All right, so we want to turn it sideways, push it up through that center hole. All right, so what that's going to do is that once we push that up, it's going to free up our spare tire. Now, before you even think about touching the bottle jack to raise the vehicle, you need to loosen your lug nuts. This is a big mistake that a lot of rookies make, because they jack the car up first, then they forget they need to put it back down to loosen the lug nuts. So go to your flat tire. Now I know the tire in the picture is not flat, but go to your flat tire and loosen the lug nuts by using the tire iron and turning them in a counterclockwise direction. So you need to push that tire iron, like in this case, I would be pushing it down to make it go in a counterclockwise direction. It's okay to use your foot in some cases, because sometimes these things can be really tight, especially when they were worked on by a shop where they use impact guns. All right, but we want to go counterclockwise to loosen the lugs before we start jacking the vehicle up. We don't have to take them off, we just want to loosen them. All right, so now we need to get our bottle jack, and what we're going to do is we're going to take and place that underneath the frame rail of the vehicle. So let me show you. So this is a frame rail right here. That's that real heavy piece of metal that's underneath the vehicle. Because your vehicle weighs a lot, you can't use the bottle jack to raise up the vehicle by pushing on something like the gas tank or the running boards on the side of the vehicle. You need to push up on some portion of the frame, and the frame rail is one of the best places to do that. Now, the bottle jack is probably going to be easier to elevate if you just hand crank the thumb wheel at first until it gets long enough to where you start to encounter resistance. Then in which case, you'll want to use the rods that were in that black vinyl bag. One of them has an end on it that's kind of like shaped like a crooked finger or something like that, and then it goes into the rectangle hole on that thumb wheel. So it looks like that, okay? And then put all the rods together, or snap them all together to make one long rod, and then you're going to put the tire iron on the very back and start cranking. All right, so we've got the top of the bottle jack is now on a frame rail, and we're going to start cranking those rods, turning that thumb wheel so that the vehicle begins to elevate. Now, once we've got the tire up high enough that it's no longer touching the surface, we can then finish taking the lug nuts off the flat tire. At this point, once the tire has been removed, your vehicle is in a fairly precarious state. And ideally, if anybody's still inside the vehicle, they need to be very still. Or if you can get them out of the vehicle so they can stand away from the vehicle so there's no vibration inside. What we're trying to prevent is anybody to suddenly move the vehicle that might make it fall off its bottle jack. We don't have any tire on our axle right now. All right, so now we're going to take and put our spare tire on there. And then we're going to start putting our lug nuts on. And tighten the lug nuts as much as you can before you lower the vehicle. And so then once you finally do lower the vehicle, just doing the crank in reverse, once it touches the ground enough to where it won't move anymore, then take your tire iron and go in a alternating star-shaped pattern. So if you look at this picture, I've got like a 1, and then directly across from it is a 2, and then kind of up to the left is a 3, and then down to the right is a 4. You're trying to make a star-shaped pattern as you tighten these lug nuts. And they should be pretty tight. You don't have to stand on the tire iron, but you want to press on that thing just about as hard as you can. Now at this point, you're probably ready to just throw the flat tire in the tailgate and run off. But before you do, make sure you use those rods again to crank up that cable that the spare tire was on. Otherwise, this thing's going to be dragging behind you and it's going to catch on something and really mess something up. So make sure you crank that up. Okay, good luck with your tire change.